Hey everyone, this is Dan, and this is Daredevil, Born Again, the trade paperback. Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli. And the title of the video is for Daredevil number 227, which is the first issue you see when you open up this trade paperback. And this whole saga is called the Born Again saga, though only one issue is named Born Again. And I wanted to do this series just because this is probably one of the best Daredevil stories, period. And definitely deserves praise. I've read it a couple times, though I'm going to reread it again just for this series, just because it's worth rereading. It's really, really awesome. And yeah, we open up and we get a great Daredevil cover. This is Apocalypse. And you get a scene right here. You got this fat guy talking to her. It's Karen Page, and she does not look good at all. She looks pretty jacked up, and you can infer from a lot of the dialogue and the captions that she has not been doing well. It's pretty clear she's addicted to certain drugs. Probably been doing some not so great things right now, but she does the unthinkable. She's going to sell out Matt Murdock, and she's going to sell out Daredevil. And that right there, the final panel on the splash opening page, just pretty much sets everything into motion right here. The whole plot pretty much pushes right here. That dude goes over, takes the information, and sells it to, you guessed it, the Kingpin. I like this panel, by the way. This is a really dope shadowed drawing of Kingpin on at dusk. It's pretty awesome. So he goes over, and I love how once he gets that information, pretty much tells everyone to go away, and then tells Wesley, okay, here's what I want you to do. Everyone who has ever touched this envelope, just get ready and be prepared to whack them. While I go confirm this. I thought I was like, holy crap, uh-oh. Then we get the true sort of splash page in between, and we go in. Matt Murdock's freezing his balls off in New York, and we go through, get a little just general talking and exposition, just your generic stuff that was always done in Jim Shooter days. It's kind of interesting. Like, so this is just most of this is just explaining Daredevil and Matt Murdock and his setting the situation, which is everything that was expected from the old comics. But it's done so seamlessly that you don't even like realize that that's just standard storytelling from the Jim Shooter era. But yeah, so he goes in and practically everything and anything that can go wrong happens to him in his first couple pages, man. So his girlfriend breaks up with him. His accountant freaking stops working for him. The IRS has frozen him and they put him in an audit. He's got like no job offers. The bank freaking is about to foreclose on him. And then make matters worse, he's getting pulled in court for legal malpractice. Oh man, yeah, he's pretty much like everything that could go wrong goes wrong. This lady's like, "Have a nice day," and he's like, "Shut up, bitch." So we get Foggy coming into this, and this is Matt's girlfriend for whatever reason, calling Foggy. And I'm gonna sort of skip over to here, and this is kind of interesting. So this is like a little subplot of, I don't know necessarily, because I forget the storyline, what happens with this broad later. But I forget why she's basically hooking up with Foggy now after she broke up with Matt. And then we get Ben Ehrlich going on here, and he's seeing the news of what's going on with Matt Murdock. He can't believe it. He calls him up to figure out what's going on, and Matt's kind of like pissed. He's pissed, and he doesn't even want to deal with it. He's trying to figure out what the hell's going on himself. So yeah, he tries to go to the bank. Nothing happens there. I love how all like Frank Miller must have just gotten these photos from Mazzucchelli, and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do with this? I'm just gonna have him keep inner monologuing, but it's gonna look like captions, and this flows like so well. Like I mean, it looks like a lot of text, but it's not really. You just burn through it because you're like, oh my god, what's going on here? And finally he goes over and he's like, screw it, I'm gonna go Daredevil and figure out what the hell's going on here. I'm gonna skip the next couple pages for the copyright gods. So he goes in, sneaks in, and goes over to Nick Manoli. And this guy had been working with him for a while now. He's trying to figure out, okay, why are you lying now? And this is where things get pretty crazy. He immediately loses control or loses himself and attacks Daredevil. And then you get the background right here that his boy's kind of being held hostage in the hospital. At this point, Daredevil's like, okay, something's going south here. What the hell's going on? And he's losing it. He goes back to his home. They've turned off his power. They've turned off his phone. He's pretty much freezing his butt off. He tries to call Foggy. I love this look right here. This is like so sinister when you're like, man, this bitch is a problem. And then you kind of get it turns story turns into the perspective of the Kingpin, and it's incredible. Frank Miller kind of writes it from his perspective, and he's just going through how he's slowly just destroying Matt Murdock little by little, just watching him, and he's having his guys take an eye as he's examining Matt Murdock and Daredevil at the same time and seeing what both of them are doing, and he's just confirming everything. And this is probably like one of the greatest. The best panel in this issue right here. Just freaking Daredevil losing it because he just can't find he's trying to find anybody in the underground that's gonna tell him what the hell's going on right now with why Matt Murdock is getting destroyed, and none of these guys know because the Kingpin has played it perfectly. He has so few lines of information that lead back to him, and he's just manipulating it from like far away. He's playing ultimate 4D chess and just fucking Matt Murdock and Daredevil up. So they go to the malpractice case, and Foggy gets him out with only having his law license removed. But for the Kingpin, he knows that no, it's like a minor setback. I have this guy. He's freaking trapped, and I'm gonna destroy him. And it's just pretty freaking awesome. We go back to Karen. And Karen, who's clearly like all this description is just her just dealing with drug addiction, and just she's going back to the same guy that she got money from, and she's just gonna beg for a fix. She walks in, and this guy's pretty much finishing him off with a Kingpin. And this is like this is like really emotional. Even though you kind of hate Karen Page for selling out Matt Murdock, but you kind of at the same time the humanity in her, and that she knows she's jacked up, and the first person she thinks of is Matt. That's whoa. And here's where things get pretty even better. So he goes in and he's having this inner monologue as he's walking through back to the apartment, and he's just wondering like what could it be? Could it possibly be that everyone is after him? And he knows now that his previous girl is dating Foggy, and he's wondering if Foggy has betrayed him too. He's starting to lose it, and he's trying to go back to his place. And there's like the final cherry on the top that the Kingpin has on him. He blows up his freaking place. He goes here, and he walks through. And this is kind of like, I'll just kind of read this out because I think it's awesome. The dust is thick. Could choke on it. There's nothing left. So that's why. I never would have connected to you. Nothing about it said gangster until this. It was a nice piece of work, Kingpin. You shouldn't have signed it. Man. Oh. Yeah, I get it. I laugh when I get excited. So it's not that I think it's funny. I just think it's like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. Yeah, it's a freaking masterful issue. Like so much happens in this issue, but it's not it. I guess one way to describe it is that the style is not really like say Claremont. It's just Frank Miller's own unique style of storytelling, and it's pretty freaking rad, man. So I'm just gonna leave this right here. I'm getting near 10 minutes, and that's kind of where I like to keep it with these videos. But yeah, I'm gonna go definitely do the rest of the issues in the Born Again saga. But this was like freaking killer. Oh man. Anyhow, that's it. I'll end it right here. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on this freaking masterpiece opening act for this story, leave it down below. And I will see you next time.